Alright y'all, we back again today with another video. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different and taking a look at some of the packaging or boxes that the sneakers came in or were included with. If this is your first time stopping through, please make sure you hit the subscribe button, like the videos, comment. The engagement helps the video get pushed out to a larger audience and helps the channel grow. Going for a little while, so we have a lot to get caught up on, a lot of news that has been coming out. So we'll get caught up, and slowly and surely I'll bring everybody up to speed on what I've been doing. And so a couple of years back I decided to get rid of all my boxes and finally cave in and purchase the drop front containers. At that time I felt like the boxes were kind of in the way and taking up space. I didn't always like the drop front containers. I had to kind of come around to them, but when I purchased one, I just kept purchasing them. And then before you know it, I felt like I needed to get rid of all my boxes to put the sneakers in, drop front containers. But, little did I know that that was a mistake, and, throwing away your boxes can decrease your value on the sneakers. So from that point on, I decided to keep my probably boxes. Some of my favorite and some of my most sentimental shoes, I don't have boxes for them. If I purchased them a couple of years back or a while back, when I was going through that phase where I was buying containers for them, I probably threw them away. But that was a lesson that I had to learn the hard way. You keep your boxes. If you throw them away, you can decrease the value of the sneaker if you decide to sell them. The boxes, they're part of the presentation. They include style codes on the boxes, colorways, things of that nature. So moving forward, I keep my boxes. A lot of these boxes are gonna look familiar. They are some recent sneakers that you probably still can find at your local retailer. I didn't try to go too far back, so I included some sneakers that were released this year or maybe last year. Not putting them in any type of ranking. I'm just going to start off with this one, the Jordan 4 Rare Air box. Yeah, this is a recent shoe that I did a recent review on. It does come with the early 2000 base box. When we first got first look images at the shoe, and found that it was coming with this kind of box, it kind of begged the question, would some of the retros that we would get later on, would they continue to put them in this style box? Because I know at one point in time this was the normal box. This is what we were getting kind of like in the early 2000s. So if you were back then, if you were collecting, this was the box that a lot of the retros came in. So, and again, it's nothing special about this box. It's just all over black box with the hinge style lid. You get your red Jumpman and the Flight logo right there. Flight logo and red Jumpman right there. Your label. Flight logo and red Jumpman right there. The next box that I'm going to show you guys is the Jordan 1 UNC Reimagined. This box did come in the same format as the Lost and Found box. Pretty much the inverse of the Lost and Found box. I did see a couple of people on TikTok and social media swapping the bottom portion or the lid to the Lost and Founds with this one, so that it matches up with the top and bottom. It is like your basic normal Air Jordan 1 box inside, nothing special. But I think looking back at the UNC Reimagined, like once enough time has passed, I think a lot of people are going to come around to this shoe. It is probably still available at some of your local retailers, but yeah, the packaging, they did do a really good job with that, and that's kind of one of the things that sold me on the box. Is the Jordan 1 Unions. It does come in this collage style box. I know when we normally get these kind of boxes, you're gonna get some kind of special project or a collab or something like that. They usually save these or reserve these for you know, the premium shoes. Pretty nothing special on the inside, just a kind of hinge style lid, black lid up there. They did come with the Union paper and the Union hang tag as well. But it's always good when we get these boxes because, you know, they kind of show the pictures, the designs of, you know, how the shoes were created. You know, they go into the history of it, kind of the breads down there at the bottom, the tools right there, and a lot of his, you know, famous photos from his last shots and, you know, some of the photo shoots. So yeah, this is always a good box. I hope they keep this box, you know, for a while and continue to put some, you know, decent shoes in it. You know, don't just kind of give this box to, you know, your regular general release shoes, because then it will kind of lose its head. Is the Air Jordan 4 Fears. It does come with the in-style lid and the white Jumpman flight logo and the writing of "I'm scared of what I won't become and you're afraid of what I will become." It kind of ties into the name of the Air Jordan 4 Fears. I think on the 2013 pair, this writing that was listed all over the top of the lid was on the insole of the sneaker, and that's one of the details that they left off the 2024 pair. So sometimes it does pay to, you know, have that older retro to kind of keep it around, because when they bring out newer retros, they kind of miss small things, little details here and there. But you know my story on that. Like, if you like the shoe, you want the shoe, you don't have the shoe, just go ahead and pick it up. But yeah, this is a really great box. They have the speckle print down here around on the lower portion of the box, and then you go inside the box, you get that tissue paper with the same writing over the lid. A really good box. I think the Jordan 3 Fears, the Air Jordan 3 Fears had the same kind of style box, except the writing was orange. So yeah, and we're still currently waiting on them to bring the Jordan 5 Fears back, which I can see them announcing sometime soon. And last but not least, my favorite box in my collection, it is the Air Jordan 7 Trophy Rooms. As you know, Air Jordan 7s are my second favorite silhouette behind Jordan 4s. This shoe came out a while back in 2022. It has the Trophy Room logo up here, the little symbol right there, Trophy Room symbol right there. Nike Air on that side, gold pull ring, Trophy Room logo. I think Michael Jordan's signature right there all over the box. And then another Nike Air and Trophy Room logo on that side. Going inside the box, you get the small details inside the box. You get New Sheriff in Town right there, because that's what the shoe was based off of. The quote that Jordan said to Magic during that scrimmage game during 1992. You get the date up there, June 22nd, 1992. And then Monte Carlo, Monaco is where the Olympics was held, or I think that scrimmage game was held. So, you know, don't quote me on that. Taking it inside the box. The box is kind of set up like a basketball court with the Trophy Room logo. And then you have the empty seats inside there. So yeah, this is probably one of my favorite boxes in my collection. I try to keep it in good condition, you know, try to keep it from falling apart. The shoe did include spare laces, 2 sets of spare laces. Actually, I think 3 sets. So yes, the shoe did include 3 sets of spare laces. It did come with that little clipboard that showed everybody's numbers and kind of gave you a detail or a breakdown of the shoe and the story on the shoe. So yeah, you know, a lot of times, you know, you hear people say, you know, I'm not going to wear the box, I'm going to wear the shoe. But, you know, if you have a really good box or packaging, you know, it can kind of help sell the shoe. Yeah. I'll try to keep uploading on here. I know I may be a little rusty. This is my first video in a long time. So I'm going to, you know, continue to keep uploading these videos, try to get better at them, you know, work at them day by day. And I hope you guys continue to engage with the content. And like I always tell you guys, all work is easy work when you're doing what you love to do. Y'all stay blessed, and I'll catch y'all next time.